Hey everybody, Justin here. Welcome. Getting going for the Tuesday 20. Time to relax, recharge, reconnect. So there we go. Get the little ticker going. Yeah, so we'll get going at 5 after the hour. Get some people to join in. Um, yeah, been spent a lot of time in nature lately. There's a county park pretty close to me that has some phenomenal trails. So I invested in a annual pass. So now there's no I don't know, it's $6 to get in. Should I pay? So now I can just go whenever I feel like, and it's easy parking and great trails. It's just phenomenal. There's views of the beach, views of forests, views of valleys, views of great hills, mountains. So just and chunks where quiet, nobody else there, just me and nature. So it's one of those. Been learning more and more how powerful just being being away from human created environments and being a little bit more around natural created environments. Just how that can have a really big impact on how I feel, and I'm sure I know it benefits other people. I'm sure it would benefit you as well. So something to try out, even if maybe you're in the middle of a big city. Um, a lot of big cities have more nature than you might expect. Sometimes it's quite surprising, the parks and things that get that are tucked away in the middle of giant skyscrapers and uh, roads and bridges and things like that. So I live near San Francisco, and there's they'll even put parks on bridges and travel plazas and things like that. So it's one of those, when we're focused on our problems, we just get more problems. If all you see is a lack of nature, you'll continue to see a lack of nature. If you just be open to how can I find the nature near me, you might be surprised what you see. Sometimes even just the simple trees or simple plants or simple lawns that could be in your just right outside your front door. Just placing your focus on that can be pretty amazing. Sometimes to slow down and to um, like sometimes notice little things. I know when I was in England, where I was staying, was right. Is basically a farm. They had sheep on the property. And then next door was large farmlands, and there's a little trail along that they allowed us to walk. I remember one of the coolest things they did was just there's uh, I don't I don't know my plant names well at all, but it was a beautiful plant with flowers, and I just stopped and looked and just really stopped and looked close kind of at each flower and each branch of this plant, and started to notice that there's like a fly or a bee or a spider or an ant on each one of these flowers or branches. And wow, there's just so much more going on uh, in just this one plant. So even if there isn't a giant, uh, multi-thousand acre forest easily accessible to you, sometimes just that focusing, diving down reveals a wealth of happening and life and nature. Very similar to how when we slow down here and kind of focus in on ourselves, that's when we really get to see how much is really happening inside of us and how much we really have um, to offer as far as personal wisdom, personal things like that. My most recent podcast of the Engineering Emotions and Energy podcast topic is about being your own truth detector, because oftentimes we think like we got to just go with whatever we think we know or what somebody else says, yet there's often not a lot of checking in and what seems true for me. And I'm not necessarily getting into facts of things, although there's a little bit of that. But facts in some ways they're trivia, they're entertaining, unless it has to do with guiding us in an action or a behavior of how we live our lives. And so really it's about what is the action or behavior that I'm going to take. And whenever there is something that involves us personally, we do have kind of our own innate wisdom, our own innate guidance that we can tap into that can help us take in whatever facts. But also there's more than just maybe facts that are being presented to us. There's also an understanding of where we are currently, our own well-being, or the relevancy, the usefulness, and taking all that in and combining that with external information to make a decision that's best for us. And so we're going to do some practices to get into that state that it's going to make it a lot easier to find that place of relaxation, quiet, where we can really listen to our own innate wisdom, and start living from there instead of living from, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do the other thing. So thank you for joining, and do remember to follow, subscribe, like, comment. Does really help to engage, somewhat to help with these algorithms. So let's get started with a little breathing technique. We're going to do alternate nostril breathing. This comes from yoga practices. So Nadi Shodhana is the Sanskrit term for it. But it's just alternate nostril breathing, and it helps kind of balance two aspects of ourselves, sun and moon energies, if you will, to keep it simple. So, and if you have some issues with maybe physically blocking off your nose, you can just use your attention to focus more on breath entering one nostril and leaving another nostril. But so left thumb will be used to gently block the left nostril, and then the left index finger kind of goes on the right nostril, and you'll just kind of go back and forth. So I know this looks silly on video, and you might look silly, yet do you want to relax or do you want to look good? Because honestly, relaxed people look way better, by the way. So you'll end up looking way better after looking silly. So and so just start by, and you kind of want to be a little bit higher. So not like, you don't want to be almost getting your finger up in the nose, a little bit higher, just before there's a little bit of ridge from the cartilage or the bone of the skull. It makes it real easy. So block off. So we're going to start with inhaling the left nostril. So you're going to block off your right nostril. So inhale and exhale out the right nostril. Inhale the right nostril and exhale the left nostril. And that's one cycle. So we're just going to do several cycles. So it's remember, it's inhale left, exhale right, inhale right, exhale left. And once you get going, it gets really easy. And again, if it starts to feel stressful, starts to be like, I'm not doing it right, just anything, drop the technique. And you can always do what's sometimes referred to as shadow Nadi Shodhana, which is where you just place your attention, placing extra focus on which nostril as you're breathing and exhaling. So, or you can just breathe however you want to breathe. Totally cool. So start inhaling through the left nostril, exhaling the right nostril, and you can close your eyes down. Inhaling the right nostril, exhaling through the left nostril, inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right, inhaling through the right, exhaling through the left, inhaling through the left, Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale left. And continue. Do a few more cycles on your own. I'll let you know when it's time to finish with the last cycle. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Just allow it to come back. And come to your final cycle. You'll be completing the exhalation. Focus on the left nostril. Allow your eyes to stay closed. Just kind of notice your thoughts and your feelings and your body. Just observing. Just being patient, loving, kind observer. No need to judge. No need to change. Just allowing. Just letting be. And we're now going to go from this space. I encourage you to join me in this opportunity to do a practice where you have the opportunity to make a little sound. And if you're in a place where maybe you can't make sound, you can kind of just do the motions and just within your mind hear the sound that you'd make, because you'll be hearing me make the sound. So we're going to do 7 ohms. And this is a really, really powerful technique. 1 ohm is considered just the sound of the vastness of the universe. And the other is that the way it's done is it involves fully breathing, so bringing in a lot of oxygen and then controlling that, so that becomes very, very relaxing. And also, if you are able to make noise, and you do make noise, it also exercises your voice. And it's sometimes something we don't get enough of, is opportunities to exercise our voice. So for the ohm, it's going to have 3 parts to it and measure equally. So just the traditional ohm, which you might think of like as OM, you should think of it more as a 3-letter AUM, ah, O, M. So you're going to take a deep inhale, let that belly fill up, and then you're just going to start with a ah, and move to oh, finally. So all right, let's do one more practice one, and then we'll do 7 together. So here's one practice one together. Join me. So now we'll do 7 together.
Last one. And just rest in this. Just notice any vibration or feeling or space that might be present. And keeping your eyes closed or closing them back down, we're going to move to our final exercise that I'm going to guide you through. So right now, you're likely feeling very here, very relaxed, and really open. So we're going to open into a practice of love and compassion. So I'm going to ask you to think of someone who you can have love and compassion for really, really easily. Like just someone were to bring up their name, or you just see a picture of them, and just the thought of them just warms your heart, brings a smile to your face. It can be any loved one. It could be a family member, a friend, maybe just somebody you really appreciate. Could even be a pet. I often use a cat I used to have named Julius, orange tabby, very lovable. So what does that? Just bring that to mind. Feel that feeling of love and compassion, and start to associate that feeling of love that you have for this individual with a color, any color. Perhaps it's red or white, whatever the color is. See this color concentrated in your heart area. So seeing this light of love and feeling it. And then just allowing yourself to breathe fully and naturally. With an exhale, allow that light to expand throughout your entire body and feel that feeling of love. It's gone from just your heart to now it's all the way from your head down to your toes. The entire feeling of love, seeing that color across your entire body. And then as your breath naturally exhales, that light expands more to fill up the entire room that you're currently occupying. So if there's any plants or animals or other humans, they're now covered in this light of love, and that feeling of love is extending to them and to everything and everyone in this room that you currently occupy. Allow yourself to take a breath. And then as it naturally exhales, see that light expanding further to the entire house or building that you're currently in. So just anyone and anything in the current building or house that you occupy, they have this beautiful light of love showing all around them. And they're bathed in that feeling of love and tenderness.
that you cultivated just by thinking of your loved one, and now it's expanded so easily, so effortlessly. And as you cycle your breath one more time, see that light on an exhale expand out further through your entire city that you live in, possibly by seeing your city on a map and just picturing that light of love covering all of your city, all the people, and all the animals. Feel that feeling of love and compassion as you imagine your city being bathed in this love and tenderness. Breathing. With another exhale, allow that color you've chosen that goes with that feeling of love to expand to your entire country, possibly seeing that color expand on the entire map of your country, or maybe it's another symbol such as your country's flag, but just see it covered in that color as you're feeling that love and that compassion, that tenderness. And then one more time, allowing it to expand on that exhale even more, to just continue to expand across the entire globe. So all the people, animals, plants are completely bathed in this light of love, and that feeling of love is touching all of them, including yourself. Bring it all back to yourself. Because although we are in some ways separate, we are also in ways all connected, because we're all part of this earth. Every bit of us came from the earth, so in that way we're all connected. And in this fondness that you've had for yourself and for others, it came from just allowing it to expand naturally from that love and tenderness, from that loved one you initially came up with. Allow this love and tenderness to be something that you can feel for yourself and for others, whether you previously had any tender, compassionate feelings before this exercise. Now just allow yourself to breathe deeply with a nice deep inhale, and allow yourself to exhale. Just notice your thoughts, or the space between the thoughts. Notice your emotions. Just noticing, just allowing. Notice the physical body. Just being aware. Perhaps maybe there's nothing different, but perhaps your relationship to some of these things has changed, and often the change in the relationship can be the start of a change in just about anything and everything. So with that, I'm going to invite you to gently allow your eyes to gently flutter open, coming back as we start to wrap up our time here. You're going to find it easy and gentle and kind to go about the rest of your day and take care of whatever you need to, but from a place of this calmness, this connectedness to yourself, with a little bit more energy, so that you're able to do what really matters. Because time is not the issue. It's a matter of placing our energy on what really matters. And hopefully you experienced the great feeling by placing that energy and that focus on something that really matters, which is yourself. And do ask that if you did enjoy this, please, let me know. Please follow me and connect with me on various socials. Justin Wink Ph.D. on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. And if there's something that you'd like to see, definitely let me know on there. Definitely open to your feedback. And as I mentioned, podcast comes out once a week, every Monday at around 11 a.m. Pacific time. So some great topics, as I mentioned in the intro to this session. The most recent one's about being your own truth detector, which can be really, really helpful when there's such a state of confusion sometimes, and the external information, how to make sense of that. So do thank you so much for being a part of this, and see you back next week. There's a good chance a little bit later on in the summer, might be taking a few weeks off, maybe even a month off from doing these live. But again, the previous ones are on YouTube, so have many months, so probably up to 20 of these by now that you can go through and relax and working on some things to help maybe a little bit more transformation as well. So thank you, and take care, and good day.